What's up there, SEO pros? Welcome back to part 2 of the complete guide to SEO. Today we are covering where we left off, which is where we were talking about buying a domain, hosting, basics to keyword mapping and keyword research, hiring content writers, setting up Google Analytics and Search Console, conversion tracking, basic on-page SEO, which included title tags, heading tags, bold and italics, alt tags, internal links, external links, semantic text. What we're going to be talking about next has to do with what to do moving forward. Now, if you've already ranked a website and you're watching this, you can disregard the stuff I'm about to say. If you haven't ranked a website, or you're just brand new and you just watched the first part of this and haven't watched anything else, it's really important that before you go out and try to sell SEO or create an agency or whatever you're going to do, that you learn, as I said in the previous video, more about your niche. So if, for instance, you're in local SEO, I would stop what you're doing right now, pause the video, and go find the local SEO guide I made, where I talk about what you need to do to rank locally. If you're going to rank nationally, you're probably going to follow actually a very similar layout to what you would be trying to do to rank locally, except you'd probably be focusing on trying to build authority faster than when you're doing local. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll talk more about building authority within these next videos, so you can stick around. But like I said, it's really important that you build up a sort of portfolio first, where you're able to rank hopefully like a local site, because those are generally easier than just going out and trying to rank for something national. And once you have those rankings, it's going to be a lot easier to sell your service, because then you can create a case study. And in terms of creating case studies, some of the best ways to do it is like from what I'm doing, which is you could do a video case study, you could do like a text-based case study report. But it's really easy to do. If you want to know how to do what I'm doing right here, I can create a separate video for it. But you can just look up OBS walkthrough on YouTube, and it's a free software, and you can learn how to do screen recording in like 2 minutes. All you need is a camera, which the one I'm using is like a $60 Logitech camera. So, sorry, I'm well known for drinking water on YouTube. I just get so thirsty when I talk. So anyways, the next things that we're going to be covering is for the people who I'm assuming already have something that they've ranked, whether it's just a one-page, website, and at least you're ranking for something with like 100 searches. I don't know. The point is, though, is that you're ranking for something. So at that point, what you want to do is, again, either do some sort of like video case study report where you're just talking about what you did, or something that you can like document through like text. Now, what I like to do is I like to go into my Facebook group and actually showcase the stuff that I do. Like, so for instance, let's look at how to, without links. I think that's something I always do, like these sort of angles where I rank things without links, because I don't necessarily do off-page SEO, as I said in part 1. And can't find the specific post, but here we go. The local SEO guide, that's more of a teaching guide. I'm trying to give you a good example of a case study I did. Here we go. No, that's not it. The point is, though, is that what you do is you can literally just take screenshots of your analytics, like before and after, or of your SEMrush data, and show people what you did before and after. Now, and what happened after. Now, the best way to do it, though, really is to go through the templatized approach, as I was telling you guys before, where you have the analytics, but you also have what you templatize so that you can repeat the process. So obviously, if you have it in your head, you can repeat it, but it's way better if you can go into, say, for instance, like, let's say here's a computer repair website we're trying to rank on Google. I just started doing tutorials for this. Now you can see here I started mapping out all the URLs. Now, by doing this, I now have templatized, if this ends up ranking, all the different URLs I'm going to need, or that you're going to need, in order to rank for something similar. This also makes it a lot easier if I'm going to go out and try to, sell this service to somebody else. So let's just say I don't have any authority right now. I don't have any leads. I don't have anybody hitting me up for SEO. And I don't really believe, let's say, for instance, if I'm brand new, that, I have the ability to rank in the first place. What I can do is go follow the tutorials I was telling you, like the local SEO tutorial, replicate that process across my own site first, and then use that template to go out and outreach to people who aren't ranking as well as I am in another area. So let's just say, for instance, 2 months down the line, I end up ranking this site, and it starts getting a bunch of traffic, and I end up selling the site or renting it out to somebody, who knows. Well, what I can do is I can take this template and whatever else, I've put into this, which, you're going to discover a lot more than just the keyword map. Like, you're going to discover the design, what the call to actions work best, all that kind of stuff. And what you can do is go outreach to somebody in a different area. Let's just say, let's go find somebody in Los Angeles. And we can look for somebody who, let's say, is down here or something. I don't know. Down there. And we outreach them and say, hey, look, you're ranking, number 5 on the maps. And then let's just assume they're not ranking till, I don't know if that's them, but let's just say they're not ranking till the bottom of the page. We can say, hey, look, you're not ranking for that well. And also, if we look at the keywords you're ranking for, which you can use Ahrefs or SEMrush for this, you're only ranking for, you're only one page on your website is bringing in traffic. I'm just assuming that this is what's going on, right? Maybe they don't have their other related service pages built out. Well, what you can do is you can do an audit of their site. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And you can actually tell them, hey, look, you're missing a lot of pages, or there's a lot of problems going on with your site. So let's go and audit their website right now. So I'm going to go grab these people right here. Now, preferably, you would audit their website with their analytics and their search console connected, which I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But right now, we'll just assume that we don't have any of that because this is something we want to outreach to. So we're going to just copy this URL right here. We're going to bring up Screaming Frog, which you can get just by Googling Screaming Frog. And as long as their website isn't above 500 URLs, you can start crawling it. So there we go. We'll start. And 50%, so let's just wait a little bit longer. While we wait for this, let's post this on our Facebook group, which if you're not in the Facebook group, I highly suggest you join it. It's called the White Hat SEO Network. You just search it on Facebook. And it's almost done. My camera down a little bit more. It's a little intrusive. Well, that's interesting. Website is requesting login details to crawl it. That's fine. We'll just skip that part. Whew. Okay, so I got 100%. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and press export. Now hold on, we're gonna just filter by HTML because we don't really care about the other stuff. We'll grab all this stuff that it just exported. And again, what we can do is just copy it into a new potential client folder. So this whole thing I have set up over here, I don't have the agency folders or this whole thing, Chase Rainier Agency, set up where I can give it to you guys, but I do have the SEO audit roadmap available, and you can find that as you saw in part 1 just by Googling SEO audit template and going to the URL that's ranking, which is like number 3 or 4 or something. So anyways, if we go to the clients folder and then potential clients, I can just put them in there and say new folder. We'll go, what is it? Whatever their name is, LAPC Fixer. Trying to find the place I was just at. Oh, here it is. Now I'm gonna just put this in a new folder and call it outreach. So that won't even be, that'll be a different folder. Sorry, my nose is super itchy. Go into there, put it right there. And go into here. I'll make it red so I know I didn't outreach to it yet. And then I'm going to copy the roadmap I have in here. Make sure it's the right version. There it is. Rename it to LAPC Fixer Roadmap. All right. So, Screaming Frog Crawl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here, or into the export we got, which is right here. Copy all that, and I'm just going to plug it right in there. Oops, sorry, wrong export. Let me get the new one. That was another one we did. I guess it didn't export. Let me try that again. Should work now. Okay, there we go. So now we have everything that's in green as it's good, and then anything that's red meaning it's bad. So we can look and see that they got, let me just filter. See if I can filter. Should be a way to filter from reds and greens, but either way you can see that there's a ton of different titles that are not within the specific dimensions, meta descriptions that are missing, and then, you know, heading tags that are missing, that kind of thing. And then on here as well, we can see all the different URLs they have. So, for instance, if they're not, you know, if they don't have, why is that still the same guy? It should have been the new thing that we just crawled. Did we crawl the same thing? Sorry, guys, I don't know why it's not. Oh, it's because I did the wrong. Sorry about this. Okay, copy and paste. So if we go into the URLs, as I was telling you before, we can actually go and look and see if they're replicating what we were talking about within our own template. Now, if that looks different and they're either missing things or, you know, or there's any problems we're seeing here, which some of the stuff that you're going to see in here is actually going to be identified within that main SEO roadmap template. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, what I'll show you. So let me go into here. So you can see, like, one of the things is that the URL structure isn't properly categorized because everything is just like one post, one thing down from the main level, right? One file path down. And if you look at how it's supposed to be within the different tutorials I've created here, you can see that you should probably categorize your structure. So that's something that you're probably going to want to, recommend to them. So one of the things you can do is that you can actually start making recommendations based off either this or off of this. And this you would only do if you wanted to do the entire roadmap for them. And I don't know if you'd want to go and do that for somebody that you've never even talked to before. A good thing that you could probably do for these people is actually go and start a recording, which is, let me show you. So what you would do is you would start recording with your OBS, and I'll just go start, press start, and then I'll show you what I'll do. Let me see. So I'm gonna start recording in 3, 2, 1. Hi there, my name is Chase Reiner, and I was looking at your site, LA PC Fixer, and I actually do computer repair in Santa Barbara, but I also do something called search engine optimization. And I was looking through all your different URLs, and there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to make recommendations on, but I'm just making a quick video so that you can see that I am a real person, that I'd like to actually help you if you're interested. I'm currently ranking my computer repair site on the first page of Google in Santa Barbara. And I also have a ton of 5-star reviews. If you Google my name, it's Chase Reiner. I think I actually have the most 5-star reviews as an SEO right now on Google. So feel free to contact me. My number is 805-453-3586. And if you want me to tell you a little bit more about what's going on with your site and maybe fill the rest of this roadmap out for you if you are interested in this sort of thing, I've created all of this, by the way. Let me know. I'll send it to you, and we can get on a call, and maybe I can help you out with your stuff. So anyways, thanks. So that was just a quick video I did where I literally just did a Screaming Frog export, and then I did a like 5-minute or 5-second recording, really, and not 5 seconds, but like 1 minute recording. Now what I can do is I can upload that as an unlisted video. Let's just go upload that like so. We'll go to videos. Sorry, wait, where is it? It's under here. Make sure this is the right one. Turn off my music for a second so I can listen. And where did that video go? Here it is. It's right here. Hi there, my name is Chase Reiner, and I was looking at your site, LA PC Fixer, and I actually do computer repair in Santa Barbara, but I also do something called search engine optimization. And I was looking through all your different URLs, and there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to make recommendations on, but I'm just making a quick video so that you can see that I am a real person, that I'd like to actually help you if you're interested. I'm currently ranking my computer repair site on the first page of Google in Santa Barbara. And I also have a ton of 5-star reviews. If you Google my name, it's Chase Reiner. I think I actually have the most 5-star reviews as an SEO right now on Google. So feel free to contact me. My number is 805-453-3586. And if you want me to tell you a little bit more about what's going on with your site and maybe fill the rest of this roadmap out for you if you are interested in this sort of thing, I've created all of this, by the way. Let me know. I'll send it to you, and we can get on a call, and maybe I can help you out with your stuff. So anyways, thanks. I mean, so there's probably some ways that we could make that better, but I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? So what we would do is go to the video, upload it, call it LA PC Fixer video, and go to unlisted, copy link, go here. And this is just obviously one way if you really needed clients. I mean, there's tons of ways you get clients, and I've actually made courses talking about how I get clients. But I mean, if you're desperate and you wanted to start just sending out a ton of videos, you know, this could be something that works really well. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it enough, but I'm just assuming that, some people might, bite on that, something like that. So I made a short video for you talking about your website, talking about your business. Let me know if you have any questions. Jeez. We'll see. We'll see. Because, I mean, how many people get videos like that, right? It's just, it would be so weird to just open this up on YouTube and just be like, what the hell?
So I just created this dope website with Wix. Let me show you how I did it.
And then see all the other related videos as well. Hi there, my name's Chase Reiner, and I was looking at your site, LA PC Fixer, and I actually do computer repair. Hi there, my name's Chase Reiner, and I was looking at your site, LA PC Fixer, do something called search engine optimization. Was it my headphones? Hi there, my name's Chase Reiner, and I was looking at your site, LA. Okay. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a series, or we'll just do a bunch of those and then see if we can get any clients out of it. But the point is that what you're doing is you're actually taking, like I was showing you earlier, I'm just giving you an example of how you can templatize your service or your SEO that you do, and then actually start using that as a sales pitch by saying, hey, look, I've already done this. And then you can actually show them all the different, things that you've done for a website. So that's one of the ways that you can end up starting to sell to people. Now, in terms of your roadmap or or like the actual initial getting people in, it's really important that you bring them in with a low barrier to entry sell. So if they're going to be, for instance, just getting a free screening fraud crawl or something like that, or they're just getting like free information, like watching your tutorials or whatever, however they got to you, what you want to end up doing is taking them from that avenue, and then you're going to bring them in to your roadmap or whatever way you're going to audit their website, because that's going to be the next step to actually bringing them to a service. So if those people actually end up contacting me, what I will end up doing is I'll say, hey, look, I normally do these roadmaps for like $200, but since you're already interested and you know that you need SEO or whatever I want to say, I could even just give it to them for $200. It doesn't matter. As long as they end up getting the roadmap. And as you get more people booking your services, then you can start selling your audits or whatever you're doing at higher prices, right? The more clients you have, obviously you can start charging more for SEO. The more audits you have, you start charging more for audits. And as you get more and more demand, then you start charging more and more. So for the roadmaps, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to probably want to watch all these different tutorials, right? So this tutorial, so every single tutorial in here shows you how to find and fix whatever issues you're going to see within here. So this section shows you how to find and fix site redirects, preferred version, how to find and fix problems with your robots.txt, so on and so on. So what you want to do is actually watch all these different tutorials. If you can't afford this roadmap, you can still go on the roadmap page, which you can find just by Googling SEO audit template, and watch the videos for free without buying the template. So still free if you want to watch it without buying the template. But in any case, you want to be able to report to them on the issues that you're going to identify within the videos that are in here, or by creating your own roadmap and then telling them, hey, look, these are all the different things within your website. If you already know a little bit about SEO and you know how to fix these certain things, then what you're going to end up doing is you're just going to, and you don't want to buy this template, then you're probably going to want to create your own template, or just use how I used to do it, which worked fine. Just bring open your notepad and then go to their site and start identifying the problems that need to be fixed. Like we'll just say step 1, let's go through their website. We saw, sorry, this wasn't it, but we saw within their website, they needed their URLs to be categorized. So URLs not categorized properly. We could keep going through it and look at other things, like let's say they have keyword stuffing within all their URLs. All of them say Los Angeles, whatever it is, right? Or these URLs are too long. So we'll say URLs too long. If we go into the specific pages, we could see that the pages aren't optimized properly based off the things we were talking about before. Or the text is too small, or it's over optimized. Look at that. That's not good. So text is over optimized. So you can easily hand them something like this, and then what do? They buy your service, and then you fix it for them, right? You go to those pages that are over optimized. What do? Pull the text out. Now, before you go and start optimizing people's websites, though, you want to, again, audit their website first, set up a priority checklist based on what needs to be fixed first, and we'll talk about what's important to identify and fix first based off a huge thing of different items you may have, because you may have like 100 different things that you need to fix, but it's important to figure out which one you need to fix first. And then after that, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to want to benchmark your data, because it's really important that if you're doing something, you can at least see what's actually affecting the bottom line, meaning the overall metric, which is conversions, right? Are they actually making money? So if we look at this, let's just say, for instance, we have a bunch of different things we found. Let's just say we audited their whole website. So let's go say site redirects preferred version. So we go through here, go like this. And looks like it redirects the preferred version, meaning that it redirects to the right version, and there's a redirect there, but it doesn't redirect to the SSL version, even though it has it. So that's a problem. So we would put a little Z there, and basically anything in Z means that it's not good. And we can put conditional formatting in there so we remember that. I need to put this up to I need to put this on my update, but anything that is equal to Z is red. And anything that's X is good, or anything that's green or X is good. So text contains X. So we'll just say if the robots.text is good, let's go check that. We'll just go here, go to robots.text, and we'll say, okay, that all looks good. So we put an X there and then green, right? Then we'll go check at the sitemap. Okay, using Yoast looks good, so we'll put an X. And then so what you do is you end up going through all of that, and then you duplicate this at the end, and what you're gonna end up having is a bunch of different stuff, right? You're gonna have a bunch of reds and greens. Now, how do you prioritize what you need to fix first? So there's a general outline based on whether you're doing local or national SEO that you always need to fix first, and you can always sell these services. So I'll show you what those are. Let me just put these in back to the white highlights. So if I duplicate this, or sorry, if I add a new tab and I type in priority checklist. This is what I always do at the end of an audit. I always tell people, here's your priority checklist. So what I'm going to end up doing right here is I'm just going to name off the things that need to be fixed first. Now, if you're within local, generally what people need to do is fix things around, let's say, page speed. If anything is below 2 seconds, you need to fix it, right? So page speed optimization would be the solution, right? The checklist is that they need that done, and then the solution, the service that you can bill is page speed optimization. For the next part, you're going to say, let's say one of the things that most people need done is indexation or thin content problems. So a lot of the times what you'll end up seeing is websites with tons of pages that aren't getting any traffic. And the way you can usually find that out is either by going to the site. Let's just say site : and then let's go to that website there. Site : name of website here, and then seeing, look, 413 results for this website. Now they're a local website. Do you think that they're getting traffic to every one of those pages? Probably not. And if you look at stuff like this, look what's being indexed. Twitter equals 911 question mark. You can see here, this is probably something that's not getting any traffic. or they have like tags indexed or categories indexed or some weird stuff going on, you want to make sure that those things that are showing up, or this thing that was posted in 2009, are not on there because they're not providing any value. So that's one of the other recommendations that I would end up probably making within a given website with almost pretty much anybody's website, because most people are not doing indexation correctly, or they have thin content or low value pages being indexed. So and then the solution would be deindexation of low value pages, or 301 404 status codes. And I mean 410 status codes. And if you don't know what that means, basically what you'd end up doing is either redirecting content to new content, or pointing the content to the correct content, or doing a 410, which is basically completely getting rid of the content, or doing no index tags within a website to make sure that the content doesn't actually show up on Google. One other solution is adding canonical tags, which you can actually end up showing a preferred version, but still keeping the content on there as a preferred or as a usability thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is more like technical stuff, and we can talk more about that later. But in all reality, as long as you're getting rid of thin content or low value pages, you'll generally be okay. So literally just deleting the pages because they're not really serving a purpose, right? Nobody's going to them through analytics or through Search Console. You can see they're not getting any traffic. What's the point in keeping them? That isn't to say if the website doesn't really have a lot of traffic in the begin with, don't just go out and delete half the website. This is for more like websites that already have some established traffic, or they just have no traffic, but there's just 5,000 pages on the website and only the homepage is getting traffic, right? That's a problem. Another thing that we have is conversion tracking isn't being done properly, or analytics isn't being synced with Search Console, which is what we would use for benchmarking, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So the solution for that would be setting up Search Console and analytics properly. Another thing that most people don't do is they don't do keyword mapping or benchmarking. So that's something that you could easily recommend to people. And again, super easy. All you do is just take the URLs, map the keywords out to them, and the search rates. And that might seem kind of dumb, but really it's very helpful to have lists like that. Remember again, where we have these things where we can categorize different content silos into an overarching theme, so that if we end up working with another client like this in the future, or if we want to end up, creating a similar site or whatever it is, we now have this template. If we want to sell the template, there's tons of stuff you can do, right? So it's really important to keyword map, not just for the selling too, but also so that you can keep track of what you're actually trying to rank these URLs for, instead of having them rank for like 100 different keywords and not know what the main keyword is that you want to rank them for. The way you discover what you want to rank these pages for is based off what the methods were that we were talking about previously, which is going to Search Console, seeing what we didn't talk about this. So the way you actually go and figuring out if this is the right thing to rank for, besides just going and checking out the keywords, is actually to go back to your Search Console later on and see what happened to that keyword or to that page after you went and tried to rank it. So if we go into Search Console right here, and say for instance we want to rank for rank and rent, which is the process of ranking a website locally and then renting it out, which I just did a big article on that. So if we go to that, if we go to that article, pages, rank and rent guide, and I go to queries, what I'll see is all these different things ranking, rank and rent websites, rank and rent SEO, but what's the right one, right? Which is the one I want to rank for. Now, if I look here on the right, I can see here we have 77 clicks for the rank and rent query, 370 impressions, 20% click-through rate, average position 2.2. Now, if I look at the impressions on everything else pretty much, none of them is really cutting anything close to the amount of impressions that have pulled from this keyword, but all of them have pretty similar average positions. So this is probably the main keyword I want to go for. Now, if I click into that and I go back to the average position again, queries, because the average positions over here the ones that we were looking at before were the average positions for everything. So that's not a good estimation, right? Average position 15 for all these keywords is not reliable because some of these are in position 300. So if I click on the actual keyword, I can see that the average position when it started, let's say back here, it went from 0, boom, hit 5, and then went up. And now it's been about averaging about 2.0 to 2.2. Now, that's pretty good. I know to map that out as rank and rent. And if I want to try to rank it for anything else, probably not much else there because look, everything else is pretty much lower. Now, if I were to take a different URL, let's just say we go back to pages, go into SEO audit checklist, which is the checklist I was telling you guys about. We go into queries. Here we go. SEO audit template, 965. Now, if I look at SEO audit checklist, this has 1,336, average position 24. Click-through rate 0.22%. Now, I might want to go for this one, but it could be that this one might not be a buyer's keyword, and 2, might not be something that I can actually rank for because it might not be the right intent. So when you're mapping out your keywords, also you really want to think about, is SEO audit checklist what this thing should be ranking for, this page, or should it be ranking for SEO audit template? Or maybe it should be ranking for both, who knows? But the point is that by mapping it to the closest intent first, which is this one, I can then try to maybe go re-optimize it later by including other variations of words, adding more stuff about how it's a checklist, maybe adding more videos as a checklist, who knows? But the point is that when I click into this, at least I know that this is continuing to go up, and this is a good keyword to go for because it, even though it doesn't have as many impressions, it has a decent click-through rate and a good amount of impressions. And if I know if I bring it up in position, all of these metrics will go up, as well as the conversions, which also has to do with the bottom line. So the next section of that is if we go into analytics and we go into the Search Console sync, like I told you guys before about, if I can get into it. I don't even know if I can get into it. My Google always lags. If I get into it, over under acquisition, Search Console, landing pages, and I look at the page, let's say SEO audit checklist template, and then I go to all conversions or SEO roadmap by, let's see, SEO roadmap by event. Now, you guys have to remember, or you guys have to know that I was trying to do this with event tracking, and I wound up having some problems because the WooCommerce event tracking plugin wound up giving me these errors, and I wasn't able to track the conversions properly. So this is really a bad example from me. But the point is that this should have been the buy event, and I would actually be able to see what the conversion rates were for that page, and also see all of the other corresponding data. Like for instance, if the click-through rate was at 1%, if we brought that up, because anything below a 3% click-through rate could be probably improved, then the conversions would probably also go up. So that's something we can optimize based off benchmark data, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But overall, this stuff is really valuable to look at. And like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit. So back to where we were when we were talking about the things that you're going to look at probably first. So priority checklist, we got keyword mapping and benchmarking. The solution would be keyword mapping and benchmarking, same thing. Some other stuff that most people probably don't do is probably stuff around like SSL. Solution to that is install SSL, maybe bad hosting, SSL, and migrate hosting. So this is more like site-wide problems you're going to see. Business name, or sorry, click-through rate optimization not happening. I mean, a good example of this is sort of what we talked about in the first tutorial about how to do, click-through rate optimization. If we look at what this guy has on his site, or who, girl, I don't know who owns the business, we can actually see that, there's business names including all the titles, and they're all capitalized, and a lot of these titles are very similar, right? We want to make these titles as diverse as possible so they're not cannibalizing each other, and so that they're also as distinct as possible to the specific thing they're trying to rank for. So if these are trying to go for IT consulting in Los Angeles, you know, maybe it should be IT consulting Los Angeles. We have the top experts. You know, that would be the qualifier going with that specific thing versus, you know, just having a bunch of URLs that say like, you know, the keyword and then LAPC's fixer. That's not very helpful when if somebody's looking through the search results and this is all they're seeing, computer cabling services, LAPC fixer, and then they see somebody next to it that says, you know, computer cabling services by the top rated experts in the world, which one do you think they're going to click on? Some other stuff too, like, you know, that improves click-through rates as well, schema markup, right? Do CTR optimization. Schema markup is huge, and there's tons of different types of markup you can do to improve click-through rates, or just to help mark up your website as an entity around a certain thing. You can mark up your website with local business markup. You can mark up sub-service pages. You can mark up product pages. You can add review markup to those as well, and have star ratings listed beneath your search results. Tons of stuff, and we will talk about schema markup later on. But you know, just know that use schema library and plugins. Another thing is maybe they're on a weird CMS with problems. Migrate CMS. Anything that's not WordPress or like say something like Squarespace, I pretty much would just probably migrate. If it's something like custom or like, you know, Drupal that I'm not really aware of, I probably wouldn't migrate it. If they're doing well, I just probably wouldn't touch it. I'd probably just make recommendations. And then some other stuff really just depends on their site, right? I mean, there could be big problems, like for instance, the whole site's being no indexed for some reason because they did a redesign and then they forgot to take out the no index tag, or I mean, there could be a variety of other problems, right? Just based off this. But the whole point is that you want to get rid of the things that are really causing the most problems, which are usually like content related or something to do with their site architecture or page speed or something like that. And then go in and optimize the individual pages based off, one, your data that you're going to probably get through, you know, something like Screaming Frog, but then two, more specifically, your benchmarking, which we're going to talk about, I guess, right now. So when it comes to benchmarking, actually, no, we'll talk about benchmarking in the next series. So that's it for today. That was a good amount. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next tutorial, and leave a thumbs up if you like these type of videos. Let me know what you think in the comments if you enjoy them. And until I see y'all next time, happy SEOing.